The shadow falls a different way. Across a life begun in fray. Not sunlight warm, but flickering light. A constant tremor in the night. She learns to read the shifting mood. To walk on eggshells, understood. The silent language of despair. The heavy weight of burdened air. Her mother's laughter, sharp and bright. A fragile beacon in the blight. Her father's anger, swift and deep. A secret promise she must keep. She builds a wall, brick by slow brick. To shield herself from pain and quick. To mend the cracks, to plaster o'er the broken pieces on the floor. But underneath, the fear remains. A subtle echo in her veins. A yearning for a steady hand. A promised land, a firmer sand. She seeks connection, craves what's true. And fights the patterns breaking through. To love without the fear of fall. To rise above, to stand up tall. For she is strong, though scarred and worn. A daughter forged in a brewing storm. And in her heart, a seed takes root. To break the cycle, bear the fruit. Of healing, hope, and gentle grace. And find her own authentic place.
The invisible scars. How addiction in parents shapes adult daughters. Growing up in a home touched by addiction is like navigating a minefield. Whether the addiction manifests in substance abuse, alcoholism, or even an unhealthy relationship with food, the instability and unpredictability leave lasting marks, particularly on daughters. While everyone's experience is unique, adult daughters of addicted parents often carry invisible scars that impact their relationships, self-esteem, and overall well-being. The core truth is this: you may be predisposed biochemically, as well as emotionally, to abusing drugs, alcohol, and/or certain foods, usually sugary ones. This predisposition, combined with the chaotic environment of an addicted household, creates a complex landscape for development. The legacy of chaos and uncertainty. One of the most significant impacts is the pervasive sense of uncertainty. Children crave stability and predictable routines, but addicted households often lack both. A parent's erratic behavior, mood swings, and broken promises can leave daughters feeling constantly on edge, never knowing what to expect. This can lead to anxiety and hypervigilance. Living in a state of constant alert to anticipate problems and manage the parent's behavior becomes deeply ingrained. This hypervigilance can translate into anxiety in adulthood, making it difficult to relax and trust. Difficulty with trust. Broken promises and inconsistent behavior erode trust. Adult daughters may struggle to form deep, trusting relationships, fearing abandonment or betrayal. Low self-esteem. Constant criticism, neglect, or being made to feel responsible for the parent's addiction can damage a daughter's sense of self-worth. They may internalize the message that they are somehow not good enough. The burden of caretaking and the loss of childhood. Often, daughters find themselves taking on the role of caretaker at a young age. This can involve managing the household, comforting younger siblings, or even trying to control the addicted parent's behavior. This role reversal robs them of their childhood and can lead to people-pleasing tendencies. To maintain order and avoid conflict, daughters often learn to prioritize the needs of others over their own. This can lead to a pattern of people-pleasing in adulthood, making it difficult to assert their own needs and boundaries. Perfectionism. Driven by a need to control their environment and compensate for the chaos at home, daughters may develop perfectionistic tendencies. They strive for flawless performance in all areas of life, leading to immense pressure and self-criticism. Emotional repression. Suppressing their own feelings to avoid upsetting the addicted parent becomes a survival mechanism. This can lead to difficulty identifying and expressing emotions in adulthood, impacting intimacy and connection. The cycle of addiction and the importance of healing. The predisposition to addiction, both biochemically and emotionally, can lead to daughters repeating the same patterns in their own lives. They might find themselves struggling with substance abuse, eating disorders, or unhealthy relationships. Breaking free from this cycle requires acknowledging the impact of the past and actively working towards healing. This can involve support groups. Connecting with others who have similar experiences can create a sense of community and validation. Self-care. Prioritizing self-care activities, such as exercise, mindfulness, and creative expression, can help regulate emotions and build resilience. Setting boundaries. Learning to set healthy boundaries with family members and others is crucial for protecting emotional well-being. Growing up with an addicted parent is undoubtedly challenging, but it doesn't define an adult daughter's future. By acknowledging the invisible scars of the past, understanding the impact of those experiences, and actively working towards healing, they can break free from the cycle of addiction and create a life filled with self-compassion, healthy relationships, and genuine happiness. The journey may be long, but the destination is a life free from the shadows of the past. The escape in empathy. How fixing others can hinder your own healing. We've all been there. The friend who's always in a crisis, the family member who constantly needs rescuing, the romantic partner whose life is a whirlwind of drama. We jump in, offering advice, a listening ear, or even tangible help. It feels good to be needed, to be the strong one, the problem solver. But what if this intense focus on other people's issues is actually a subtle form of self-sabotage? The truth is, being perpetually drawn to fix others, or constantly finding ourselves embroiled in chaotic situations, can be a clever, and often unconscious, way to avoid confronting our own internal struggles. We become so preoccupied with external drama that we effectively distract ourselves from the messy, uncomfortable work of self-reflection and personal growth. The allure of the fixer role. There's often a strong pull towards those who need our help. Perhaps we grew up in a household where caretaking was highly valued, or where our own needs were overlooked. Maybe we equate our value with our ability to solve problems for others. Whatever the route, the fixer role provides a sense of purpose, control, and even validation. However, this constant focus on external problems can become a shield. By investing our energy in others' lives, we avoid the uncomfortable questions. What are my own needs and desires? What am I truly passionate about? What are the patterns I'm repeating in my own life? What am I afraid to confront within myself? The danger of enmeshment. Similarly, being consistently drawn to chaotic and emotionally charged situations can be a sign of enmeshment. This means becoming overly involved in the problems and feelings of others, often to the detriment of your own well-being. You become so intertwined with their experiences that you lose sight of your own boundaries and individual identity. This can manifest in various ways. Constantly mediating conflicts between family members. Sacrificing your own needs to appease someone else's demands. Taking on responsibility for other people's emotions. Feeling guilty or anxious when you prioritize your own well-being. Breaking the cycle, turning inward. Recognizing this pattern is the first step towards breaking free. It requires a conscious effort to shift your focus from external problem-solving to internal exploration. Here are some practical steps. Set healthy boundaries. Learn to say no without guilt. Understand that you are not responsible for fixing everyone's problems. Practice self-care. Prioritize your own well-being through activities that nurture your physical, emotional, and mental health. Seek therapy or counseling. A therapist can provide a safe space to explore the underlying reasons why you are drawn to these patterns and help you develop healthier coping mechanisms. Reconnect with your own passions. Rediscover hobbies, interests, and goals that bring you joy and fulfillment. Practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings without judgment. This allows you to become more aware of your own inner landscape. It's important to remember that empathy is a valuable trait. However, when it becomes a means of avoiding your own personal growth, it transforms into a hindrance. By acknowledging this pattern and actively shifting your focus inward, you can reclaim your own well-being and create a more balanced and fulfilling life. It's not selfish to prioritize yourself, it's essential. Only then can you truly be of service to others, from a place of strength and genuine connection, not escapism. The dangerous dance, depression, unstable relationships, and the pursuit of excitement. For some individuals, the experience of depression can be a crushing weight that threatens to consume their very sense of self. In an effort to stave off this pervasive sense of sadness and despair, many turn to external sources of excitement and stimulation, seeking to outrun the shadows of their own minds. One such source of excitement that can be particularly alluring is the unstable relationship. An unstable relationship, by its very nature, is one that is characterized by a high degree of volatility and uncertainty. The thrill of the chase, the highs and lows of intense emotional connection, and the adrenaline rush of constant change can all serve to create a powerful draw for those seeking to escape the clutches of depression. However, this dangerous dance between depression and unstable relationships can ultimately prove to be a double-edged sword, bringing both temporary relief and the potential for even greater emotional turmoil. The relationship between depression and excitement. To understand the appeal of unstable relationships as a means of combating depression, it is first necessary to examine the complex relationship between depression and excitement. Depression is a mood disorder that can manifest in a variety of ways, including persistent feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and worthlessness, as well as a loss of interest in activities that were once enjoyed. It can also have physical symptoms, such as fatigue, changes in appetite, and sleep disturbances. For many who experience depression, the pursuit of excitement can serve as a powerful antidote to the crushing weight of their symptoms. Engaging in exhilarating activities, taking risks, and seeking out new experiences can all help to stimulate the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine, which are associated with feelings of pleasure and excitement. In this way, the pursuit of excitement can provide a temporary reprieve from the symptoms of depression, offering a much-needed boost in mood and energy. The allure of unstable relationships. Unstable relationships, with their ever-shifting dynamics and intense emotional highs and lows, can be particularly alluring to those seeking to outrun depression. The initial stages of an unstable relationship are often characterized by a whirlwind of passion and excitement, as both partners struggle to make sense of their intense feelings for one another. This period of heightened emotional arousal can be incredibly intoxicating, providing a powerful distraction from the more mundane aspects of daily life and the looming specter of depression. The unpredictable nature of unstable relationships can create a sense of excitement and anticipation that is difficult to replicate in more stable partnerships. The constant fluctuations in mood, the push and pull of emotional connection, and the ever-present possibility of dramatic conflict can all serve to keep partners on their toes, constantly guessing at what comes next. For those who struggle with depression, this sense of unpredictability and excitement can be a powerful draw, offering a much-needed reprieve from the monotony and despair that often accompany their condition. The dark side of unstable relationships. However, the allure of unstable relationships as a means of combating depression can also have a darker side. The very qualities that make these relationships so exciting and alluring can also make them incredibly draining and destructive, both emotionally and psychologically. One of the most significant risks associated with unstable relationships is the potential for emotional manipulation and abuse. In an effort to maintain control and keep their partners off balance, individuals in unstable relationships may engage in a variety of manipulative tactics, including gaslighting, stonewalling, and blame shifting. Over time, these behaviors can erode a person's self-esteem and sense of self-worth, exacerbating the symptoms of depression and making it even more difficult for them to seek out healthier, more stable relationships. Additionally, the constant emotional rollercoaster that characterizes unstable relationships can take a significant toll on an individual's mental health. The highs and lows of intense emotional connection, followed by the devastating lows of separation and conflict, can create a sense of whiplash that is difficult to manage, even for those without a history of depression. Over time, this emotional volatility can lead to increased anxiety, irritability, and feelings of hopelessness, further entrenching an individual in the cycle of depression. Finding healthier alternatives. So, if unstable relationships can be so detrimental to an individual's mental health, what are some healthier alternatives for those seeking to combat the symptoms of depression? One key strategy is to focus on building a strong support network of friends, family, and mental health professionals. Having a solid foundation of people who care about you and are committed to your well-being can provide a powerful buffer against the symptoms of depression, offering a sense of connection, understanding, and validation that is difficult to find in the tumultuous world of unstable relationships. Another important step is to engage in activities that promote emotional regulation and self-care. This might include practicing mindfulness meditation, engaging in regular exercise, or pursuing hobbies and interests that bring you joy and a sense of accomplishment. By taking an active role in managing your mental health, you can begin to build a stronger, more resilient sense of self, making it easier to resist the allure of unstable relationships and the fleeting excitement they provide. While the pursuit of excitement through unstable relationships may provide a temporary reprieve from the symptoms of depression, it is ultimately a dangerous dance that can lead to even greater emotional turmoil and psychological distress. By focusing on building a strong support network, engaging in activities that promote emotional regulation and self-care, and seeking out professional help, individuals struggling with depression can begin to break free from the cycle of unstable relationships and find healthier, more sustainable ways to manage their mental health and build a brighter future. The allure of the unattainable. Why nice guys sometimes finish last. In our hearts, we've all heard the age-old adage, nice guys finish last. While the statement is a sweeping generalization, and a potentially harmful one at that, it taps into a complex and often unspoken truth about attraction. For some, kindness, stability, reliability, and genuine interest, while admirable qualities, simply don't spark the flame of passion. They find themselves drawn to something else. Why is this the case? Why can a nice guy, brimming with all the attributes that should make him a perfect partner, sometimes feel boring? Here are a few potential factors at play. 1. The thrill of the chase. Human beings are wired to seek challenge. When someone presents themselves as consistently available, eager to please, and predictable, the inherent challenge disappears. The initial spark, the excitement of figuring someone out, can be diminished. The energy we expend trying to win someone over, the uncertainty, can be a powerful aphrodisiac for some. 2. Familiarity breeds complacency. Stability and reliability, while crucial for long-term relationships, can sometimes be perceived as monotony in the early stages. The absence of drama, the consistent reassurance, can lull some into a sense of complacency. They might subconsciously crave the roller coaster, the emotional highs and lows that a less predictable partner can provide. 3. Projection and the fixer mentality. We often project our own desires and insecurities onto potential partners. Some may be drawn to men who seem to need fixing, seeing them as projects or opportunities to prove their worth. The kind and stable man, perhaps radiating self-assuredness, might not trigger this rescuer instinct. 4. The power of mystery. Nice guys, often eager to be open and honest, might inadvertently reveal too much too soon. The enigma, the intrigue that fuels initial attraction, can be lost. A touch of mystery, a sense of independence, and an air of self-sufficiency can be incredibly captivating. 5. Societal conditioning and romantic ideals. Let's be honest, popular culture often glorifies the brooding, enigmatic bad boy figure. Movies and books frequently portray passion as tumultuous, fueled by conflict and overcoming obstacles. This conditioning can subtly influence our perception of what real romance should look like. Important considerations. It's crucial to acknowledge that this phenomenon isn't a judgment on nice guys. Their qualities are invaluable and form the bedrock of healthy, fulfilling relationships. However, understanding why some are drawn to less traditionally desirable characteristics can lead to greater self-awareness and more informed relationship choices. It's important to examine the underlying reasons for being attracted to individuals who may not be the best for us. Are we seeking drama out of boredom? Are we projecting our insecurities onto others? Are we afraid of vulnerability and intimacy? Ultimately, lasting happiness in a relationship requires more than just initial sparks. While the thrill of the chase and a touch of mystery can be enticing, stability, kindness, and respect are the cornerstones of a truly fulfilling partnership. The key is to find someone who can offer a balance of both, someone who sparks your interest while also providing the security and support you need to thrive. It's about recognizing the long-term value of genuine connection and choosing consciously to cultivate a relationship built on more than just fleeting infatuation. The conflicted pleasure. When good sex keeps you in a bad relationship. We often hear about the importance of good communication, mutual respect, and shared goals for a healthy relationship. But what happens when all of those things are lacking, except for one glaring exception? The sex is fantastic. For many women, this creates a perplexing and often painful dilemma. Staying in a bad relationship solely for the pleasure of good sex. It's a scenario that's more common than we might imagine. You might find yourself arguing constantly with your partner, feeling emotionally unsupported, or even experiencing disrespectful behavior. Yet, the thought of leaving is daunting because the physical intimacy remains so compelling. The explosive chemistry, the shared pleasure, the electric connection in the bedroom, it's a powerful force that can blind you to the bigger picture. So, why does this happen? The alluring power of physical intimacy. Sex, especially when good, releases endorphins and other feel-good chemicals in the brain. This can create a powerful bond, even when other aspects of the relationship are crumbling. It can become a coping mechanism, a momentary escape from the daily grind and dissatisfaction. The perception of hope. Women in this situation often cling to the hope that the good sex is a sign that the relationship can be salvaged. They reason, if we can connect this deeply physically, surely we can fix the other problems. This hope, however, can be blinding. Fear of the unknown. Leaving a relationship, even a bad one, is a daunting prospect. The fear of being alone, the uncertainty of the future, and the anxiety of losing that physical intimacy can keep women trapped in unsatisfying situations. Conflicting signals. The disconnect between the positive physical experience and the negative emotional experience can be incredibly confusing. It sends mixed signals, making it difficult to accurately assess the overall health of the relationship. The double standard. Society often subtly reinforces the idea that women should prioritize emotional connection in relationships, while men are often perceived as being more focused on physical satisfaction. This can lead some women to feel guilty or ashamed for valuing good sex, even if other aspects of the relationship are lacking. However, it's crucial to recognize the potential downsides of prioritizing good sex over overall relationship health. Compromised emotional well-being. Staying in a relationship lacking in emotional support, respect, and communication can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and even depression. Lowered self-esteem. Tolerating mistreatment or neglect erodes self-worth and reinforces the belief that you don't deserve better. Missed opportunities. Clinging to a bad relationship prevents you from finding a healthy and fulfilling partnership that meets all your needs, not just your physical ones. Resentment. Over time, the lack of emotional intimacy and connection can breed resentment towards your partner, further damaging the relationship. So, what should you do if you find yourself in this situation? Honest self-reflection. Take an honest look at the relationship beyond the sex. Are your emotional needs being met? Are you respected and valued? Are you growing as a person within the relationship? Communicate your needs. Express your concerns to your partner and clearly articulate what you need in addition to good sex. Be prepared to listen to their perspective as well. Seek professional help. A therapist can provide an objective perspective and guide you in making healthy decisions for yourself. Prioritize your well-being. Ultimately, your emotional and mental health are paramount. If the bad outweighs the good, it may be time to consider ending the relationship, even if it means sacrificing the physical intimacy. The allure of good sex can be powerful, but it shouldn't be the sole foundation for a relationship. Remember, you deserve a partnership that nourishes your mind, body, and soul. Finding a relationship where the sex is just as good as the emotional connection is possible. Don't settle for less. The cost of love. Unpacking the "If I suffer for you, will you love me?" question. The phrase, "If I suffer for you, will you love me?" carries a weight deeper than just a simple question. It's a plea, a bargain, and often a red flag signaling an imbalance within a relationship dynamic. It speaks to a fundamental misunderstanding of love, equating it with sacrifice rather than genuine connection and mutual respect. While often attributed to women, the sentiment behind this question transcends gender. Anyone who feels insecure, undervalued, or desperate for validation can fall into the trap of believing their worth lies in the extent of their suffering for another. However, it's often seen in women due to societal pressures that still, consciously or unconsciously, prioritize self-sacrifice and nurturing above personal well-being. So, what does it really mean when someone asks this question, and why is it a cause for concern? Decoding the question. Insecurity and low self-esteem. The core driver is usually a deep-seated insecurity. The individual doubts their inherent worthiness of love. They believe they need to earn it through grand gestures of sacrifice, putting themselves through hardship in the hope of eliciting affection. Fear of abandonment. The questioner fears being left alone. They believe that by offering unwavering commitment and enduring hardship, they can bind the other person to them, preventing them from seeking connection elsewhere. Misconception of love. This question often stems from a skewed perception of love. It confuses genuine affection with obligation or pity. True love is reciprocal and allows both individuals to thrive. Control and manipulation. In some cases, the question can be a passive-aggressive attempt to manipulate the other person into feeling guilty and therefore obligated to reciprocate with affection. This is a dangerous dynamic that can lead to resentment and further imbalance. Why this is unhealthy? Unequal power dynamic. This dynamic creates an imbalance of power, with one person consistently sacrificing and the other potentially taking advantage of that sacrifice, leading to resentment and bitterness. Unsustainable relationship. Love built on suffering is unsustainable in the long term. Resentment will eventually build, and the individual who is constantly sacrificing will likely experience burnout and emotional exhaustion. Sacrificing true self. To suffer for another, you often have to suppress your own needs and desires. This leads to a loss of identity and can contribute to feelings of emptiness and depression. Setting a dangerous precedent. It sets a precedent where love is conditional and dependent on suffering. This can lead to a cycle of increasing demands and sacrifices, ultimately damaging the relationship. What to do if you ask yourself this question? If you find yourself contemplating, or even voicing, "If I suffer for you, will you love me?" It's time to pause and reflect. Focus on self-love, prioritize your own well-being. Engage in activities that bring you joy and cultivate a strong sense of self-worth. Challenge negative beliefs. Identify the root causes of your insecurities. Explore past experiences that might have contributed to your belief that you need to earn love. Communicate honestly. Talk to your partner about your feelings of insecurity and your need for reassurance. However, avoid placing the burden of your self-worth on them. Seek professional help. If you struggle with low self-esteem or unhealthy relationship patterns, consider seeking therapy. A therapist can help you develop healthier coping mechanisms and build a stronger sense of self. What to do if your partner asks this question? It's crucial to respond with empathy and understanding. Reassure and validate. Express your love and appreciation for them, emphasizing qualities beyond their sacrifices. Encourage self-focus. Gently encourage them to prioritize their own needs and interests. Set boundaries. Politely but firmly set boundaries regarding their expectations of sacrifice. Reinforce the idea that your love is based on mutual respect and connection, not obligation. Love should be a source of joy, support, and growth, not a platform for sacrifice and suffering. By recognizing the underlying issues driving the "if I suffer for you, will you love me" question, we can work towards building healthier, more balanced relationships based on genuine affection, mutual respect, and unwavering self-worth. Remember, you are worthy of love simply for being you, not for what you endure. End of Chapter 3.